Hey guys, just wanted to share a little tip with you. I've been using these TPU tubes for over a year now. And usually if you do have a flat with these things, which I've had much less flats with these actually compared to butyl tubes. That's why I'm sticking with them. And they're 36 grams, so you can stick 2 or 3 of them in your jersey pocket, and they don't take up much space or add much weight at all. But the patches that come with them usually are not very good. And so I've tried other options like cutting up an old tube and using it for a donor patch, and cutting up into little small pieces and gluing those on with Gorilla Glue and clamping them on. And I've had some success doing that, but the problem is later on, if there's another puncture in that tube, when I go to take that tire off, that I take the tube out and the patch falls right off. The old patches will fall right off. It's almost like the Gorilla Glue completely dried up and the patch just no longer had any adhesion properties and just fell off the tube. So I started thinking, I bought this stuff originally for a tubeless. I read that you can make tubeless rim strips out of it. So I bought some of this stuff and tried it, and it might have been my fault, but I couldn't get it to work good for the tubeless rim strips. Maybe I didn't prep the rims well enough before I applied this tape. But I started thinking about it. I've used it for many other things, and countless things. But I started thinking about it for these TPU tubes, and I thought, well, this stuff here is. I think they use it for repairing pool linings and that type of thing. And I thought maybe it'll work with this TPU tube. And I cut out a small piece and just lightly sanded and wiped it off with alcohol. Lightly sanded it and with I think 220. Wiped it off with alcohol, and I just put it on. I clamped it for about an hour with a small wood clamp. And I put it back on the bike, and it's still on my bike right now, holding air perfectly. I'm running Pan-A-Racer Gravel King 43s, 700 by 43 on my Linsky, and it's holding fine. I got about 45 pounds in there, and no problems at all. So now I'm convinced this stuff really works. Maybe not great for on the road repairs, and that's the problem with these TPU tubes. It's best if you repair them at home, and then later on, just take them home with you and fix them then, and then just keep them for spare tubes for the next time. So it's the best thing to do is just swap it out, and when you get home, fix it. But you can use this tape to fix it, and maybe it does work on the road. I'll have to try that one time. I can give it a shot and see what happens, and I'll let you guys know, report back to you about that. But I just thought this has been a game changer for me because I've only used it once so far, but it was so easy, and I've been trying so many different things, and it's kind of a bummer because they come with patches, and sometimes the patches work, but other times they're dried up and they just don't work. And I think I've had about 5 or 6 of these tubes. I've got some blue ones on Amazon, and they have black valves, and they're really nice. They work well. I have those on my road bike right now, and I have some of these pink ones. I have 2 of these Alibaba or AliExpress pink ones on my bike right now on my gravel bike, the Linsky, and I think I threw away 2 of them because I had some bad tires in the past, and these tires would you had to pump them up to about 100 in order 90 to 100 to get them to pop the bead, and so the bead would be settled on the rim, and I think I ruined the tubes through the valve stem because I couldn't find any holes anywhere when I put them in a pot of water. There were no holes anywhere in the tube. So I'm thinking that the valve might have been leaking at higher pressures. But these tubes have been working for me good, except for I think 2 of them I've thrown out. One of them I cut up into pieces for a donor because it was bad. It had a mysterious leak that I couldn't find, just like the other one. Other one, same thing, and I ended up throwing that one away. But out of maybe 6 or 8 of these tubes, I think I've kept all but 2 of them. So, but I think they're, the 36, they're cheap. They're actually pretty cheap. If you get them on AliExpress, they're pretty cheap. I think you get 2 of them for 10 or 11 bucks. But if you get a tubeless setup, you've got your heavy Presta valves in there. Your Presta valves with the rubber on them to seal them and the nut and all that stuff. And then you've got your sealant inside. These actually end up being lighter than having a tubeless setup, and it's kind of cool because I definitely seem like I can't say they're puncture resistant. Maybe I've been lucky, but it feels like I've gotten way less punctures. And I was talking to my wife about that, and she goes, "Yeah, that's true. You don't get that many punctures with those." And so these TPU tubes, I'm going to keep using them. I think they're great. But just thought I'd share this with you guys, and hope you guys have an awesome weekend, or the rest of your weekend. Well, to Monday tomorrow. Have an awesome week then, and be safe out there on the road, you guys, or on the gravel. Take care now. Bye.